Hi, I'm Ms. Alvarado. I'm the high school counselor for students in grades 10, 11, and 12. And we're going to discuss the articulation process. What is articulation? Articulation is that time of the year when students select courses for the next school year. So if you're currently a 9th grader, you select courses for 10th grade. If you're currently a 10th grader, you select courses for 11th grade. And if you're currently a junior, you select courses for your last senior year. So the first thing that I want to discuss, because I think it's important to discuss when we're talking about what courses to sign up for next school year, is remind you of what your graduation requirements are, so that when you sit down and you decide what courses you're going to take for next school year, you know exactly what you've earned, where you're at, and where you're going, so that you make appropriate choices in order to complete your graduation requirements. You need a total of 24 credits to graduate. Of those 24 credits, you need 4 credits of English. So you're going to take an English in 9th grade, an English in 10th, an English in 11th, and an English in 12th grade. You also need 4 credits of math. So you need Algebra 1, Geometry, a 3rd math, which is usually Algebra 2, and a 4th math. Here at Miami Art Studio, although many of you start taking your math courses as early as 7th and 8th grade for high school credit, we do require that all students continue past the 4th math and take math in 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th to make you more marketable to get into the university of your choice. You also need 3 credits of science, and the sequence is physical science, biology, and then a 3rd science, which generally is chemistry. Many of you here also start taking science courses as early as the 7th grade for high school credit. And we also require here at Miami Art Studio that you do science at least 9th, 10th, and 11th. And we strongly encourage you to take an additional science your senior year. You also need 3 credits of social studies, which is in 9th grade, world history. In 10th grade, you do not take a history unless you choose to take an elective history class. In 11th grade, you take U.S. history. And in 12th grade, you take half a credit of economics and half a credit of government. Additional requirements outside of the classes are you must take 1 full credit of a fine performing practical or speech credit. Here at Miami Art Studio, students do not need to worry about that because through their magnet strands, you have fulfilled more than that 1 required course. You also need a full credit of physical education, which is broken down into half a credit of personal fitness and half a credit of a general physical education class. Hopefully you've all taken it in 9th grade or will be taking it in 9th grade, so you fulfilled this requirement. Otherwise, I strongly encourage you to sign up for this so that you don't have any pending requirements before senior year. And in addition to that, you take electives to get to the total 24 that you need to graduate. You need a 2.0 unweighted cumulative grade point average. That's a tongue twister in itself. Okay, let's break it down. Unweighted is all your classes that you've taken for high school credit without the honors or AP points. If you take an honors class, you get an additional point for an A, a B, etc. If you take an AP course, you get 2 additional points for an A, a B, etc. The unweighted is the raw, so the A is 4, the B is 3, the C is 2, the D is 1, and the F is 0. And cumulative means it's everything you've taken for high school credit ever since the middle school. So everything is averaged in together, and that's what you need a 2.0 unweighted to graduate. You also need to have taken or will be taking an online credit course. This is a requirement for graduation, so at some point between 9th and 12th grade, you need to have taken an online virtual class, probably through Florida Virtual School. You also need a minimum of 100 hours of community service between 9th through 12th grade. So what does that mean? That means you're going to take 25 hours in 9th grade, 25 in 10th, 25 in 11th, and 25 in 12th for the total minimum 100 hours. We also require for you to complete a community service project between 9th through 12th grade. Only 1 community service project is required. All forms are available on our website through the Community Service tab. And if you need further information on this, you can contact Mr. Meter in room 5206. I strongly encourage you to do more than the minimum 100 hours, as there are many scholarships and grants associated with community service, such as Silver Knights, that you may be able to qualify senior year based on those hours of service. As far as assessments, what assessments do you need to graduate? you need to pass your 10th grade FSA exam, and you need to pass your Algebra 1 EOC exam. You also must take your EOCs in geometry, biology, and U.S. history, of which that exam will be incorporated into your final grade by 30%. If you have any questions, you can always fill out a request to see me, and I will be happy to sit with you and explain it more in detail. Now on to the subject selection sheet. Depending on your grade level, you will have a different color. So future 12th grade will have one, future 11th, future 10th, and future 9th. There are certain directions that I'm asking you to complete on the subject selection sheet. The first thing I need you to do is write your full name, last name, comma, first name, middle initial if you have one, and please write legibly so that I can understand when I'm inputting your courses for next school year. I also need you to put your student ID number, the current school, which you can write Mass Miami Art Studio, your email address, and please make sure it's an email address that you check regularly, as many times in the summer I will reach out to you in case there's an issue with your schedule so that we can correct it before fall. And finally, a working phone number, a phone number that if I were to call you in the summer because there is an issue with your schedule, that you're willing to pick up and answer. Now let's talk about the required courses. There will be a certain number of courses that you are required to take for 12th grade. And these are, you will take an English 4 class, and your teacher will go ahead and recommend the appropriate level for you. There are various levels that English 4 is offered. If you did not pass your 10th grade FSA, then you will lose an elective and be placed in intensive reading. If you're in the ESOL program, you will lose an elective and be placed in developmental ESOL to assist you with your English language. Then social studies will be half a credit of economics and half a credit of government. Mathematics, which is required, although you may have 4 or 5, we require all seniors to take an additional math, which your current math teacher will recommend the appropriate level. Then science we strongly encourage, but if you want to opt out, you have a right as a senior to replace that science credit with a more useful elective if you choose. But be cautious because most universities do like to see rigor and like to see you go beyond the minimum. So make sure that if you're replacing the science class, that you replace it with something rigor as well. And then your 2 magnet electives, your current magnet teachers will go ahead and recommend you for those appropriate levels. Now, juniors, future juniors, listen carefully. These are your required courses for 11th grade. You're going to take English 3, and there's various levels, and your current English 2 teacher will recommend you for the appropriate level. If you don't pass the FSA, then you're going to have to take an intensive reading class and will forfeit one of your electives for that. If you're currently in ESOL, we will put you in an ESOL strategies class. Then you will take U.S. history as your history elective. You will take a math class, and you will take a science class, which your current math and science teachers will recommend you for. In addition to that, you're going to take, if you're eligible, a dual enrollment course here at school so that you can start earning some college credits. And then your 2 magnet electives, which your magnet teachers will recommend you for the appropriate levels. Now, future 10th graders, current freshmen, listen up. You're going to take English 2, depending on what level your current English 1 teacher will recommend you for the appropriate level. You're going to take intensive reading if your FSA scores were a level 1 or 2. And if you're currently in ESOL, you would have to take an ESOL strategies class. You will take a math and science class, which your current 9th grade math and science teachers will recommend you for the appropriate levels. You will take a dual enrollment course if you're eligible so that you could start making or earning some college credits, and then your 2 magnet electives, which your current magnet teachers will recommend you for.
Hi, my name is Amy Dorta Mendez. I'm one of the counselors here at Miami Art Studios. First of all, we would like to welcome the 9th graders. We are the incoming 9th graders. We're really excited to have you. And I just want to basically go over the subject selection form that you will be receiving or have received. And hopefully you will be able to go through the whole form without any problems or difficulties. First of all, we want to make sure that you understand that you have to take an English course during your 9th grade year, and that is something that the teachers will help you with as to choose which 9th grade course you need. Also with the mathematics, which level of math you need to be in. The science, the social studies, the world history, because you will be taking world history in 9th grade, so you do need to choose one of those courses, and the teachers will help you with those classes. If you do not do well in the FSA, you get a 1 or a 2, you will be required also to take an intensive reading course. Otherwise, you will be taking the freshman experience, which is a university college credit. It's a 3-credit class for FIU. And you will also be taking the personal fitness lifestyle class, which is the PE course that is required for 9th graders. If you choose that you would like to have an elective other than these electives, you would have to take the personal fitness and the fitness lifestyle class prior to the first day of school next year. So you would be able to take that class during the summer, but you would have to take both parts, the personal fitness and the lifestyle class, before you start the new year. Hopefully you will be able to do this, and if you have any questions, I will be there in the classrooms to help you, and hopefully we'll have a fantastic 9th grade year next year.
Listen up. In addition to the required courses and the magnet electives, you're going to have to select 6 electives that you would be interested in taking. Many of you will only get 2. However, I need 6 in case your first or second choice is either not offered because we don't get enough students to sign up, or your schedule does not accommodate it because it's offered at the same time as maybe your English or math class. So yes, I need 6, and you would number it from 1 through 6, 1 being the one you want most, 6 being the one you want least, but would be okay if you ended up in it. And I must emphasize, do not put an elective down unless you're willing to stick it out throughout the school year. As many of you have witnessed this school year, we did not accommodate many, if at all, any schedule changes, and we will continue to have a no schedule change policy. So what are you going to do between January and February? What I want you to do is I want you to go to all your current teachers, show them your subject selection, and have them recommend you for the appropriate next year's level. I also want you to sit down with your parents and make sure that they sign the bottom portion of the subject selection sheet along with your signature and date, and discuss with them your class offerings to make sure that they understand what you're getting yourselves into. I'm going to give you a 2-week turnaround. So from the first day that I gave you the subject selection sheet, you're going to have exactly 14 days to have your teachers sign, have your parents sign, do some research. And I think it's important for you to ask friends, maybe in upper grades that have already taken the course. Ask them about the course. Listen to the announcements regarding the electives that we have. Ask your parents, ask your teachers, ask me, but make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. If you're taking an AP course, we do plan on offering a required AP workshop this summer, and I will give you the dates for those as you sign up, where you will be required to come in the summer for 2 to 3 days depending on the course and meet with the teachers to better prepare you to have a successful AP year. Be no exceptions. All teachers have to have signed off, your parent, your signature, and the 6 selections in the back in the order of preference. What happens if you don't turn in a subject selection sheet? Either myself or an administrator will make the selections for you, and you have forfeited your right, so therefore there will be no schedule changes. Students, this is important. Take advantage of the opportunity of selecting your courses, so please make sure you think about it, you do research, you complete your subject selections, and that you turn them in when they're due. And I will come back through the classes of English or history or freshman experience to collect these from you. If you turn in your subject selection when it was due and you change your mind, that's okay, as long as it's before May 1st. After May 1st, all the schedules will be final and there will be no schedule changes. So please make sure you jot that down. May 1st is the absolute last day to change your mind for your schedules. Thank you. And if you have any questions, you can always feel free to make an appointment with me, and I will be happy to sit and discuss it with you.